So I think we should start. First of all, welcome everyone and thank you for joining for today's Spark. Thank you, Michael, for sharing your screen. As you can see, the title of the Spark from Trends to Products, DZ Bank's Strategic Innovation Management. Today we have around, I think, 98 registered participants. So some will join later on, but I think we should just start with this meeting. Like for every meeting, after the presentation, we will organize a short Q&A session. So you can ask the speakers questions or give feedback. You may do so by raising your hand or by writing them in the chat here. So we will get an insight today into DZ Bank's strategy department, especially into their strategic innovation management and innovation process. We will learn more about how DZ Bank approaches trends to develop innovative products and what role the Innovation Lab plays in this process. So we are very pleased to introduce Michael Migendt, who is Associate Director of Innovation and Digitalization, and Bastian Stahl, who is Senior Consultant, Digitalization and Innovation at DZ Bank in Germany. So Michael and Bastian, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for the warm introduction, and good afternoon and good morning to all the participants. Thanks for taking your time and your interest in learning more about our strategic innovation management. And we are happy to introduce you to our processes, and we're happy to learn maybe more about your approach in the following Q&A. So we already had a short introduction. Bastian and me, we are happy to introduce you to our work. We are part of the Strategy and Corporate Development Department, and we are in two different teams. Probably I will a bit more in the earlier phases and working on trend scouting, trend research, identifying early signals and pushing these along to our strategy. And Bastian, maybe you can tell a bit what you're working on.
So actually we work hand in hand, and while Michael is in the search phase, mainly active, we take these early sparks of innovation into our lab formats and let them eventually grow and especially be insightful to the participants. And yeah, we will guide you through our main phases of innovation process. And by that, I will hand over again to you, Michael, because we start at the beginning.
Yeah, we start even before the beginning. So maybe not all of you are familiar with DZ Bank. So very quick intro, who we are and what DZ Bank and DZ Bank Group are working on. So DZ Bank is the German part of the cooperative world, and DZ Bank Group is the central institute of the German cooperative financial network. So 30,000 people are working at DZ Bank Group. We are working for the 700 plus cooperative banks, Volksbanken, Raiffeisenbanken in Germany, and they have approximately 30 million customers who are indirectly our owners. So we are very customer-oriented financial institute, and try to implement that as well in our innovation process. Quick look at DZ Bank, which is next to like the all specialist institutes in our group. The central bank, headquartered in Frankfurt in Germany. We are roughly 5,500 employees, and we are like central bank, have some independent business, and are the holding entity for our asset management company, insurance company, and real estate financing companies, and a couple of other banks and financial institutions. So, but I don't want to tell you more details about DZ Bank. I'll quickly jump to the topics we will look at in the next 30 minutes, we will start with our general approach in regards to innovation management, and then look into the two phases, from trends to strategy and from strategy to product. And Bastian and will tell you a bit about one of the case studies where we kind of started in the beginning and pushed things through to the final product and things being in the market. So starting with how innovation is integrated in our strategy, in our cooperative environment. And it's important to say that we as a strategy team are not doing like the operational innovation management. We're part of the strategy department of the group, and we are improving the systems innovation capabilities. We are enhancing all our innovation efforts, are coordinating different topics, and are working with the stakeholders within our company to bring their innovation efforts forward. We'll see all these different companies, and we'll touch them a bit later on, but we'll focus on our innovation process, where we will show you how Bastian already told you, start really early on in the beginning. And yeah, we don't build rockets, but I think that's probably a topic in the financial industry. We try to build interesting and good products and services for our customers. So we are looking at three phases here to make things a bit simpler. Many different things going on, and we start with topics in the trend scouting and analysis phase, and I will shortly introduce you how we work in the trend scouting and how we integrate different stakeholders in our processes, how we integrate our I will not touch how we integrate our young professionals, include them in our work. If that's of interest to you, we're happy to answer some questions on that or reply to your emails. And not touching topics like our communication formats, the innovation roundtable, and so on. We'll shortly look at the trend lab and in how we kind of push things into our strategy through our strategy processes, through top management meetings, and to topics linked to the strategy of the overall cooperative financial network. Yes, Bastian will later on talk about our about the ideation prototyping phase, which is done partly in our innovation lab, and then we tell you a bit in the case study how we scale things to the final product and into the marketplace. So starting with a short insight into our trend and technology scouting. So we try to not only look at the financial industry, we try to have a 360-degree view of all trends in the financial industry, about trends, about technologies, and that's why we have a very broad radar to identify topics. You see here our trend map, which is you don't need to read all 200 items on this trend map, but it's a view to clarify that we have many things on our radar and are looking beyond traditional topics of the financial industry and trying to interlink that with our business models, with our customer needs, and trying to identify the important topics early on. So we have two levels of trends we are looking at. We have 34 or bit about 30 macro trends. So that's currently in the process of being adjusted to 2024. You see last year's map, and we have over 200 micro trends that are sometimes very specific to different industries, and sometimes quite general. And because 200 is probably too much to handle for like top management or for many people, we have slimmed that down and prioritized to top 20 trends. Where we have a very intensive discussion with different stakeholders from the group. We have formats to make deep dives into the topics, to explore how things are interlinked, which is other, and the business models of the group, and to include all different stakeholders of our organization and beyond. And you see, these are quite high level. There are topics like open banking and artificial intelligence and sustainability included, but we have as well topics like crypto assets and digital currencies, where we're quite active and see quite a lot of potential for our group as well. So after like the identification phase and the phase where we are kind of exploring topics, we dive a bit into the research phase, or like dive deeper into the research phase, and try to understand how things interlinked. We use one of our lab formats for part of this work. So Bastian will shortly tell you a bit more about our trend lab, where we like the final result is like a research paper, but it's quite more about the process than just the final result. And we try to educate the people in our group about different topics interlinked to the trends we're looking at, and building on research we made to evaluate topics. I will show you shortly how we evaluate independent trends and how we evaluate like the trend portfolio we're looking at. And one important topics next to like doing deep dives is the communication of trends and of topics interlinked with trends. So we're very active of like being in contact with different stakeholders, with the top management, but not only the top management, but more with people in the organization, from young professionals to the experts and to the middle management as well. And we are then trying to interlink all our trend work with the strategic decisions. So our work is then included in the strategy process of the bank. So every year we have a quite elaborate strategy process, and our trend work is not only active in the it's not active. Sorry. Our strategy process is interlinked with the work we are doing there, and give you a short example on how things are included in the work. We have this trend portfolio that is prioritizing different trends along a very simple matrix, and that's just an example. Probably the crypto assets is not necessarily the highest potential for us, but our real portfolio is not to distribute so widely. And like from this, we further take on next steps. We ideate on that, and Bastian will tell you how things work on from that phase. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michael. And so if we go on, maybe you might wonder, how do we turn from that strategic perspective to real products and services? That is also a part of innovation. Maybe the research part and the more explorative part. And if you go to the next slide, Michael, I'll give you an overview. So this is basically what our innovation lab does. The innovation lab is a service to the entire banking group, so the DZ Bank group, where we have also insurance in there and also different businesses. So we have a broad variety of customers for our services. And the innovation lab is mainly a portfolio of formats. So we have a structured process that you've seen before, where we go from trends over developing ideas to developing prototypes and doing investment decisions. And so we developed a portfolio of different formats, starting from trend analysis to the sprint lab, which I will explain to you a bit later, where we are mainly about developing ideas or solution ideas, to the prototyping lab, where it's about making sound investment decisions based on prototyping. And so the business units come to us and face a problem or a challenge, or they have a sense of ambition to have an innovative idea. And we are like the accelerator, the internal think and do tank, as we call ourselves, for that group. And we offer them different tools that may serve for different problems or challenges that they have. And we rerun that cycle that you saw, our innovation process or our innovation funnel. We have 3 runs per year, which is called a batch. So in one batch, we may work on some things that we analyze on the trend. In a trend lab, we have some sprint labs where we develop different ideas. And also in parallel, we do prototyping lab where some more mature ideas are developed into prototypes. And to give you an insight on what the innovation lab is, we will go over to the next slide. And actually, this innovation lab was founded in 2016, and back then it was a single workshop format. It was 12 weeks long, and it was basically developed on lean startup ideas. So to have a build, measure, learn cycle. So the ideas that we initially had in our lab formats were more mature. We had the low-hanging fruits. And since then, we run about 50 prototyping labs, or more than 50 prototyping labs. So we had to more diversify our portfolio of formats that we offer to the bank, because we don't always have that very mature ideas where you can straightforward develop a prototype. We gained insights that the bank also needs some formats to explore trends, to develop initial ideas that are not that long, like 12 weeks, which is really long for a business department to have people going to a format for innovative ideas. So you can see here a bit of our track record, and also you can see that the innovation lab is also a physical place in our bank, where we have right now real nice facilities where people can come to from the business units or from our group businesses, and spend time there to really think about innovative products and services. And we have a real high implementation rate of our innovations that go through our innovation cycle, which is pretty good. On the other hand, it also shows that we have a small bias in selecting ideas that are very promising. And with getting older in that innovation lab format and gaining more experience, we also want to tackle the challenge of having things that are not that sure that they will be successful after running through our process. And also one thing that we are really proud of is that we try to not only be a development tool for products and services, we are also a development tool for our corporate culture and our organization, because we train the people that come to our formats in agile methods, in thinking outside the box of their daily business, because they are experts in their daily business, and we give them the opportunity to go beyond their existing limits or their existing ideas and try to push them together with us beyond these limits and try out new ideas. And So I want to give you a small insight on the formats that we have. If you continue to the next slide. I'm sorry, I think I cannot take over control, Michael, so you will have to assist me. To give you a focus on our main formats that we have. Actually, there are more, but let's focus on the main three, which are the Trend Lab, the Sprint Lab, and the Prototyping Lab, and they like align in our innovation funnel. The Trend Lab, something that Michael already talked about, is to explore new trends, to get insights in what is going on there in the world of many trends, and to get a prioritization in their like impact on our business. This is the starting point for our more explorative formats, where we try to really then develop ideas on what can we do as a service or product on that. And this is where, for example, so this is the Trend Lab, yeah, where we really focus on what is going on, and we have more that sensing capability. And if we move over to the Sprint Lab, this format is really 1 week long, so 5 days, and is closely aligned to the Google Design Sprint method. Maybe you might know that approach. So we try to really in 5 days understand and reframe the problem, involve customers, and get deeper understanding what is really going on, and then develop first ideas of how might we resolve the problem. So this is a compact format that is pretty much about understanding the problem and developing initial ideas and also prioritizing them. And it's a good start for businesses or from business units to reframe their problem and get deeper into that. And after that, there might be a follow-up in the prototyping lab. So if we go on to the next slide, the prototyping lab is our internal accelerator and the initial format that we had. It goes 12 weeks, and it's about really building prototypes. So if you have an initial idea from your, for example, Sprint Lab, or you have ideas that are in your business field, you can use the prototyping lab to develop prototypes which are mainly software code. However, they can also be demonstrators or more new business models that are tested, but it always involves testing it with users and refining it with different stakeholders. And you might wonder, how do these 12 weeks look like? If we go to the next slide, in these 12 weeks, we have like a boot camp for our participants, because we try to like challenge the idea from different perspectives. This goes from having it from an IT perspective, challenge against IT security, architecture, UI, UX, but also we try to focus on business metrics. What will the business plan look like? How will that idea scale later on? Is it compliant? Do we have any law issues? So we try to really run in a small time through different aspects that are relevant for a business model or for innovation to really grow and scale later on. And this is like the first time where the idea is really tested. And we try, so our main goal at the end of these 12 weeks is to have a sound investment decision, so that the teams that come to our prototyping lab can perform in front of our management board in a pitch, and they can have a sound idea of how to continue that business idea. Is it a good idea to follow, or is it a good idea to implement this idea or this business? Or maybe did we just learn that it's not a good idea? And so this gives us the opportunity to not run really big projects in the bank with things we don't know, or to have big uncertainties in really expensive projects, instead of just putting it 12 weeks into that thing and to have it like in a 360-degree get ideas and challenge the initial idea from very different perspectives. Okay, and so if we go on, we also prepared a small like case study and want to show you what does that mean, because crypto was something, or distributed ledger technology, blockchain technology, whatever you call it, was something that was really moving banks in like 2015 to 2020. And we also had that struggle in our bank. And we want to show you how our journey through that hype developed. So if we go on, you see that blockchain was a real hype back then. In 2017, for example, there was a big hype on the topic. However, the topic developed further. The big disruption so far did not come, but we are learning that things, if you look at the Gartner hype cycle, at some point will develop their maturity and will be productive. And we exactly run through that hype cycle. And our challenge was to keep people thinking about what impact might blockchain have or that technology on our business. And we accompanied the whole organization with different formats, and we gained a lot of experience along our way. So from 2016 to 2019, we had a lot of like ideation workshops and tried to figure out what potentials might blockchain technology have on our business. However, with the years, we had more like concrete ideas about how might we use that technology for different business ideas. And last year, our crypto custody platform really started. So we had a long journey from that 2016 to 2023. However, we learned a lot. And so there are two main outcomes of our innovation approach. The one is that we really develop products and services at the end, which is good, which is the main reason why we do this. But however, on the journey, we also learn a lot about technology, and we get in touch with it differently in early stages and in like with high uncertainty. And if we go to the next slide, you see how our formats that we have from the trend lab, the sprint lab, and the prototyping lab were involved in that journey of distributed ledger technology in our bank. So starting from trend labs that were analyzing digital currencies, decentralized finance, or tokenization, we had also sprint labs where we really developed concrete ideas of how might we use that technology. And also we did prototyping labs where we really had like technical testing if an idea is feasible or viable or desirable for our organization. And the learnings from that we shared in our organization. And if we go to the next slide of that case study, one deliverable that came out of that process was a blockchain decision tree that we used as one of the first organizations to really have structured decisions on is it a use case? Because everybody was talking in that hype phase about blockchain or distributed ledger technology. And we had like the learnings from our own innovation lab to have critical questions that question if a use case is really a use case. And we had these learnings and we had these experiences that helped us to deal with use cases and go in the right direction. Well, at the beginning, it was mainly about searching. Then we had like more concrete ways of direction and an idea where use cases can be found. And this is also what you see. We come across different aspects in our innovation work, coming across regulatory risks. We have safety aspects that we have to like look at. We have governance aspects, but also we also have to think about growing sustainability demand in the market. And this is just a brief idea of how a story through our innovation lab or how different technologies or hypes go through our innovation funnel and how we accompany these journeys with our innovation lab formats. And to come to an end of our brief keynote, I want to sum up that what you just saw was mainly about the like hardware parts of the innovation lab. It's about trend and technology scouting. It's about the think and do tank. It's mainly about facts and figures and how to develop new products and services. However, we see that there is like another level of where an innovation lab is essential for an organization, because we also facilitate networking and communication in our organization. over 3,000 people went through our formats and discovered new ways of working and got in touch with new technologies. And aside from the fact that we have a high implementation rate, this is also a service to our group and our organization that is essential and helps us to grow and think beyond the borders of existing. So yeah, to come to an end, this is a brief insight in our innovation lab, and we are happy to get in touch with you, have room for your questions right now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michael and Bastian, for this very informative presentation. I wrote some questions down by myself, but I would rather want our members to ask you questions. So is there anybody who would like to ask Bastian and or Michael a question or give feedback? Please do so. Or write them in the chat.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I would like to know how many people work exclusively in the lab, and what is the professional profile? How did you compose this lab?
So maybe I can answer this question from the lab perspective, so from the more operative innovation management perspective. Right now, we are 5 people in that small team, and we are composed mainly of people with a non-banking background, which is, in my eyes, striking because we have the experts for that banking topics that come to us, and they have the business problems. They know they have their deep experience in their field. And our team mainly consists of generalists that have a background in innovation management or business information systems. And we try to be like adaptable to any problem that comes to us. And however, we also work closely together with our IT department, which is essential to have that close interlink. And they just support us when we need a testing environment or we need licenses or something like that. So to answer your questions, from the operative side, we are 5. And Michael, I guess you are even smaller team, right?
Yes, we're even smaller. Like the strategic innovation management team is only 3 people group, and we are very small, but we are interlinking all the innovation experts from the whole group and the DZ Bank. So in our innovation roundtable, which is not only like a meeting format, but it's like a working group, we have over 30 people working together on our innovation efforts. So that's like a very decentralized innovation approach. That's what I told. Like we have the innovation work very close to the customers and close to the business, and not like a centralized innovation team that's inventing everything from like the trend to the product. We are working closely with the experts from the business divisions.
Okay, thank you.
I guess there was a question in the chat. We were asked about what project has the biggest potential for success from a business perspective. Wow, okay, that's the magical question everybody is wondering about. But maybe we can answer that question in a sufficient manner from different perspectives, because I guess Michael, you can have a guess. It's an educated guess from our point of knowledge, so we have to put that disclaimer here. But you can answer that from the trend perspective, and maybe I'll have an idea on the transformative perspective.
Yeah, so maybe I'll start with how we evaluate like the success potential, or how we evaluate like trends, innovations going to the strategy. So I just shortly touched how we push things along our innovation process there. but I think I wouldn't call like one business idea or one technology as having the most success. I think it's always like the diverse aspects and interlinkages of different topics that will push things along. So currently we're working a lot with artificial intelligence topics that will touch different aspects of our value chain, which will definitely have success potential or like potential for some efficiencies and new profits. But I wouldn't like single out artificial intelligence in that field because we will always need different aspects of the trends coming together with the right market developments to really be a success, in my opinion. Bastian.
Yeah, I would totally agree. I think generative AI or AI in general is right now the biggest trend that we can observe because it's like a general purpose technology that may impact any of our processes in a bank. And as we are like a service company, like every bank, there is nothing tangible that can be touched. So any knowledge work might be affected from generative AI. However, we are just in the process of evaluating the real potentials. And I would say that a second thing that is really interesting that's coming more from the market and regulatory side is sustainability, because we will have I guess a tremendous change in the financial sector in general in the next years. And so I guess these will be the big trends, but there is not one single project that really affects or is striking out.
Does anybody else have a question? Thank you so much for answering.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon. Hello, Bastian. Hello, Michael. Nice to see you again, and thank you very much for this great presentation. You make a good duo also, so it's also important for us to understand how the collaboration works internally in a company. My questions related also to the project, and thank you for your answer, that it's at multi-level, right? What is success and what's the project and how to promote it, maybe also internally, then also externally as a product to the members, to you, to the clients. I have more questions regarding the support. As you said, the Innovation Lab was created in 2016, right? What was the idea for the Z-Bank to implement such an innovation lab? Was there a roadmap? Was there a long-term strategy? What has changed since then? What is your reality, if I may ask? And as a cooperative bank also, right? What is the objective as a cooperative bank to do so?
Bastian, do you want to answer? So I'll start a bit as I've been like collaborating, like I've been in the cooperative banking world since 9 years, and I've been working with my current team all that time. So I've been part of the history as well, and have not shaped the history, but have participated, so I can kind of touch some points. So definitely there was a strategy behind opening an innovation team or establishing an innovation team and opening up an innovation lab. So they were like 2015 and so on. There was kind of the emergence of fintech companies and more activities in the innovation field. I think some banks saw that as a threat. I think we at the Z-Bank not necessarily like saw that only as a threat, but also as an opportunity. And we established the innovation lab to maybe use different approaches as some of the new entrants in the industry use agile methodologies, have the business side and the IT side sitting on one table, collaborating closely, enhancing customer focus, and really trying out things in a simpler and faster way. And that's what's definitely part of our success in that field. So we kind of explored these approaches for the whole organization and saw a great adoption of, for example, agile methodologies throughout the bank and with the DZ Bank group. And we didn't necessarily have like a roadmap and say, well, we need to have, like Bastian told, we first had the prototyping lab and then we need to establish like next formats in year 2 and so on. So we always like listen to our customers in developing the innovation lab further. So we had experiences with our first labs and had the need for different approaches, more short-term labs. So that's why we established the Sprint Lab, for example, and so on. So we definitely had some ideas in mind when starting up with the Innovation Lab, but it's always important to iterate and to learn from sometimes your mistakes, but sometimes your successes. And that's how we probably ended up with a portfolio of different approaches within our lab. And that's similar for the strategic innovation management. So always trying to get better and improve. Bastian, do you want to add?
I think it's pretty much on point. And also maybe we can mention that in one batch, so we have 3 batches per year where we run through our innovation process. We don't have a fixed number of so to say, seats for the formats. Normally there is a trend lab, for example, but however, if we see strong demand for more prototyping labs, we always try to make that possible. So we try to offer the most flexible formats or flexible capacities to our organization so we can serve their demands. And there's no, so there's a good balance between flexibility and listening to the demands from the organization and offering a structured program. And I think you have to balance these 2 aspects to be successful.
Thank you to both.
Anybody else have a question? If not, I will come with my question. I'm sorry. But you shared on one of the slides, you know, how you, or regarding the trends. So how do you, I just want to understand how do you discover the trends? Does it come from external? Does it come from the customer side? Does it come within the DZ Bank's department, like request? Or do you have people who scout social media? Or, you know, I don't know. So watching Generation Z, I saw this, you know, term in one of the slides. So how do you mainly, on an average, find those trends?
Okay, well, I wanted to say all of the mentioned top things, approaches we use, but I think mainly, I wouldn't say there's like a main approach because we use so many different sources. Of course, we have some partnerships with specialists in the trend field, like trend agencies and consultancies that are looking at different aspects of the trend environment. Our colleagues from the IT field are working with Gartner in that aspect, and we are using different software tools to have an overview of the trends and kind of scout for topics, and definitely read a lot, like what's out there, if it's social media, news, and so on. We visit conferences, we exchange with investors. We're always happy to interact with like other banks, so always happy to learn more about what you think about the future from the organizations all across CIBP. So always happy to interact, and it's definitely not easy then to prioritize what's the most relevant. That's why I told, okay, well, we have these 200 which are on our radar. There are definitely more that are kind of out there and kind of touch at some point, but these 200 are already a selection of the more important topics to cover. Yes. Hope that answered a bit of an understanding.
Yes. Thank you, Michael. Yes, this helps. Thanks. And I think this is more for Bastian, the blockchain journey. You described this a bit more in detail. Can you tell us how long did it take from the beginning until the end?
Unsatisfying answer. It depends on how you define end, and I guess there is no end right now. It was an iterative process, and I was part of that, not in the innovation management, because I switched into that department later, but I was part of that journey from a business department. And for example, we there had if you see that process like a process that has dead ends, and it also has like one clear path going to the top, and you have to pursue that one. And I was with my business department, we were on a dead end, because we thought that there was a big potential for that subsidy business that is great in Germany with further ledger. You can see that in the prototyping lab. And it takes a lot of like mistakes, or you have to test many ideas to find those that really like are viable or desirable for the company. And this helped us to like find the fields of action that don't help us with that topic, because at that time 2016 2017 distributed ledger technology was new to like any one of us, especially for the established banks and the finance industry. And everybody tried to save their business in testing if blockchain technology is viable for them. And what helped us at that point was that we had the opportunity to test that in a setting that was research driven, that was explorative, and to come to a point where we see, okay, it makes no sense for us. There is no real use case. And so I would say from different aspects, the journey was short for the different business departments, but for the entire organization, it now makes sense. The puzzle, like really the pieces fall together, and we see that there were many dead ends where we didn't have a business case, which was success to figure that out. But also we had like some business cases or some ideas where we see that they now go to production. And I would say that the journey isn't over so far. It's 7 years. But right now we are coming to that regular life cycle of products and services that go to or that are based on blockchain technology. For example, that crypto custody platform.
Thank you. It's clear. Thank you, Bastian. Does anybody else have a question or feedback? If not, please know that we will distribute the presentation to all of you, and also the email addresses of Michael and Bastian in case you have a question later on the weekend or next week. They are available to answer your question then by email. Bastian and Michael, thank you so much for giving us this insight. It was a pleasure to have this interaction between the two of you. It worked very well. Thank you so much.